that is showing course outline for this module. Please let me know. You can write it on the chat box. Okay, that's good. So let me welcome you to this module, selected topics in electrical engineering 1. We have two selected topics in electrical engineering. Actually, this one is the first one in semester 1 and the second one is in semester 2. Selected topics in electrical engineering 2. For this one, I used to be the module coordinator since long. I think it was 2010 started and still going on. And the reason why I'm mentioning is that this module is taken by all of you, and especially there are some of you who need to get some easy modules in terms of prerequisites, because this one only needs that you have passed 10 third-year modules and 96 credits and all the stuff. And I don't need any other prerequisites for or special needs for this module. That's why I keep it simple and easy for you to pass. And the other reason is that it's a very good opportunity for us to learn something that are not covered in other modules from first year to fourth year. And you must remember this, that it's playing with, who was it? Nice music, eh? Sino, Sino Buyo Ramlal. I don't know. Was it Sino Buyo? Who is it? One is written as one. Whose name is one? Number one. Who is it? On the screen, it's showing one. Who is it? Can you let me know who is it? Hello. No idea. Okay. Do you know how to write what you want to write as your name, which will be shown to all the other participants in Zoom meeting? We need to know this. It's not that I'm asking for any bad reason to say something bad to you. No, the reason why I'm saying is that we use this Zoom or Teams for all this type of meeting everywhere these days, connecting to everyone. So if you are attending something very special, very important, maybe they're asking you to appear for an interview to get a job, and you are appearing as a one with something like that, what is it that you cannot even pronounce. You cannot hear me. Who cannot hear me? I see that Galaxy A20, someone's name is Galaxy A20. He's telling me that he cannot hear me or she cannot hear me. I don't know. Galaxy A20 is a male or female. So that's what exactly I was trying to say, that you need to know how to put your name and people will know who you are. So I just received something on the chat box from Galaxy A20. Maybe it's from other planet or other universal system. We don't know, but you need to just correct that. It's on the Zoom. When you sign in, they ask you to check, or you can go to your profile and change it permanently. Put your real name, not only like that one. I also see something there like S and then a name student, then L for little a, and don't do that. Put your full name so that we can communicate or people can communicate to you properly. So that's that part. So coming to this one, it is a module which is considered as a self-study module, meaning the student will have to study on their own. The students will learn the things that are given as a topic. Like we give you a topic and you are not learning that topic by yourself. So we put a number of students, number of your colleagues in that group. Initially, I thought of having 3 people in a group, but later on I changed it to 4 because the number of students are increasing. I found it 48 yesterday, and I'm sure it is going to increase more because many of you are telling me that I should wait for topic allocation and group formation to be delayed because some are still processing registration. I don't have any problem with that as you are processing your registration, you will get registered. But let us try to do as much as we can in terms of group selection or topic selection. We almost there. We still need to do something. We'll do it, but it will be helpful to you once you know your topic. You can start working. So that's that part. And then I'm coming to the course say, like I mentioned, it's a self-study module. So what we do, we give the students an opportunity to study some special topics which are not covered in our degree program from first year to fourth year. Again, I repeat that, I repeated it, that these things are not covered in other modules. So the content that you will be studying and preparing your presentation and your report that I'll come later on to discuss them in details must not be taken from any other module. And if you do so, then you will not get any marks because in this module, what you show us, you get marks for that, and that's how you pass the module. Now, the outcome of the module is very simple. We make it possible for students to understand some theories and some practice that are there in terms of special topics, and some of the topics are also advanced topics, like very new things that are emerging in electrical engineering fields. And as we know that in each and every field, there are some topics that are always upcoming, new topics, and we need to get to know those people, those research areas, those technologies. So we cover as much as we can in such a self-study module. And then it also gives a student to work on the topic they choose, and they can take it to the next level, which is the master's degree and PhD degree. And it happened to many of my students who are working with me at master's level and PhD level. So I gave them a topic and they learned very well, they got very interested, and then they continued with the master's and PhD as well. And they are doing very well because they are learning it for now many years. They really have mastered the topic. So these are the main outcomes, but in some cases, we find that these topics can be an applied topics, meaning we can find some practical aspects in real life. In real life, there are two different categories, which theoretical aspects and practical or applied. So some of the topics might be very much related to applied aspects like applied research and so on. So if a topic is of that kind, the student takes the opportunity to apply the knowledge they have acquired to solve some practical problems as well. So the course outline is simple as compared to the other module course outcome. And if we come to the module content, what we do, there is no content that is given for a particular year. So the content comes from the module coordinator, like for this year as well as me. So it comes from me. I gave you topics that forms the content, meaning those 13 topics that I have given so far forming the content. Along with that, we do some assignments. This module has some practical. With at the top, it shows 12P, meaning 12 hours of practical, but we don't do practical for this selected topics module at all. Even if under normal condition, we don't go for practical. We do assignments, and those assignments are also part of the content, and we take them as for marking and getting the final course mark. So that is very simple again. And brief description of the course, it's a self-study module that you already know. And what we do, we have a number of topics that are the topics list. I will just show you after this. You don't leave this class until or unless everything is discussed. And if you have not understood, please don't hesitate to ask questions on how we will do things in this module, because this is a very different module and you need to know everything how we will do it. So the topics will be given, which here has already been done, and then you're choosing. Some of you have already chosen, some are still outstanding. And once you have a topic, you will start studying on that because it's a self-study module. And then you will report us back with an oral presentation every 2 3 weeks. I'll give you a calendar how to do that presentation, which I will show you today. And it's normally every 2 or 3 weeks. I try to give you more or as much as we can, but it has to be according to the dates that I put there. Because if we miss one date, we cannot catch up. Because for one of the reasons when you are requesting me to delay the topic selection, I couldn't delay it. The reason is that if I delay, I will lose 1 week. And this module is so tight that it actually needs all those 13 weeks, and it would be better if we got 14th week. So every 2 or 3 weeks, you will be giving us an oral feedback. And now that oral feedback was taking place in the lecture venue during normal time. But these days, because we're not having online, we having online things, I don't want us to use data to do online presentations by the students. So what I suggest in that regard is that you prepare a PowerPoint presentation for 15 minutes for your group, and for each slide you put some voice over on it. So you prepare the whole group. There will be 4 people in a group, and each group will prepare a PowerPoint presentation that will be for 15 minutes duration, and each of the members of that group will have something in that presentation, and that will be coming with voice over as well. And then I will take that into account. I'll listen to that presentation and I'll give some marks for that. Is that clear to you? Let me know. Okay, so that's fine. Thank you very much. So you will do an oral presentation using PowerPoint with voiceover after 2 or 3 weeks. Other dates I will show you later on after this. And there will be 3 such oral presentation. It's not many. So first presentation, we call it presentation. First presentation, second presentation, and third presentation. And the final presentation will have to be completed. Like in each and every presentation, you present different things. You don't present what you in presentation 2, what you presented in presentation 1. You don't present in presentation 3 what you have already presented in presentation 1 and 2, because you have presented 1 and 2, and for those 2 presentations you have already gotten some marks. So if you're presenting the same thing in presentation 3, then you are not going to get any marks. It will be simply 0, right? So that you must remember, but I will discuss those again so that you remember it. And then when the presentation is completed, all what you have presented must be submitted as a report, as a practical, like as a report, like your lab report, design project report that you write on a Word file, that you will have to write a report and submit it to me. That will also be taken into account. I will again come back on those things, again the dates when you will be submitting and all those things. Now, when these things are done, then we'll have some tests. We'll have two tests. We'll discuss on those things, how many tests and how many things. So the test will have some questions. The questions will come from that presentation that you have presented. So that will form the content of the course lecture notes that we get from other things. So when you do the presentation, meaning you will be emailing me, not emailing, you'll be dropping them on Learn website. The website is already ready. I'll show you that one as well. Please remind me if I put it. So you'll be dropping it there, and then I'll put it on the folder where everybody will be able to download them. And when you download them, then you prepare for the test. The test questions will come from those PowerPoint presentations. Is that clear? Okay, thank you. And the topics that you have seen that are already listed on the course outline, which I have shown you, and you also have received some emails already that's going on. So I'll come to that later on. So how I go about this presentation here. So this is some guideline. We start with topic 1. You must remember your topic number that I gave in the first place, because that's the order that we are going to follow for the presentation dates, and that's very important. And please don't miss the submission of presentation slides on the particular day that will be shown later on, because if you miss it, you miss it. There is nothing that can be done. You cannot do catch up and make up every time for every module. It's too much for us actually. So we start with topic 1. We go for the presentation topic. Next topics come, we go for the presentation. So presentation 1 is done here. So let's say we have 15 topics. Currently we have 13 though. So 1 to 5 will be done on day 1, day 2, next 5 topics, day 3, next 5. So we are done with presentation 1. Then we come to the following 3 days, 3 weeks. So first week, again we go for the first 5 topics, second 5 topics, third 5 topics, done. Then when you are done with 2 presentation for all the topics, then we go for the test 1, and it will cover all the presentations that are completed here, meaning these are the presentation 2, presentations 1 for all the topics, presentation 2 for all the topics. That will be the syllabus of the scope for test 1. And after that, we'll start the presentation 3, and it will be 1 presentation outstanding that time. And we'll go for all the presentation slides for 3 different days. And when we are done with that, then we'll go for test 2. And the scope of the test 2 is what is done here, meaning only the third presentation. So the test 2 is shorter. The scope is shorter, simple, easy. So that's how we go for the test scope as we progress through the semester. Now, in terms of X outcome, we assess XILO 9 here, which is independent learning ability, because it's a self-study module. We have to assess how you do the independent learning yourself. But I will guide you through the process when you will be preparing your presentation. If you need to know something, you can also prepare your get your questions ready. If you have some questions, how to do that, I will show you. I will discuss you in details Let me come to the assignment. There will be two assignments which I have already posted. One is on the modeling of solar PV system, how the power is generated and so on. So read those assignment statements and do that using MATLAB simulation. You can write in MATLAB code, or you can do that same task by MATLAB Simulink model as well. Okay, participants who raised hand? Sengayo, what's your question? Can you hear me, Sengayo? You can unmute yourself.
Morning, sir. Good afternoon, I mean.
Yes, how are you?
Yeah, sorry about that. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, so you talked about can you go back on the previous slide, like upwards, when you talked about the topics and the test. I just want to confirm that on the here, so on the topics, you on the test for test one. So you're gonna cover all topics. It means that we have to also look at other people's topics too when
Yes,
we are
yes,
studying.
yes. I'll come to that one. You asked a very important question. Thank you for that one. I'll come to that one later on. I kept it for later on. But let's not answer that question now. But I'll come to that later on
Okay.
when the time will come, because this one probably will take more than 1 hour to discuss all the things that I want to discuss.
Okay, no problem.
We probably will take a break if we need to have a break in between. But remember your question, and it's a very important question. All of us should know the answer of the question that you asked. Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
So we come to this assignment. So you look at those assignments. The first one I was talking about, you can use MATLAB coding. Only coding will be able to do what is required for that module. Assignment. But you can also do the same thing using MATLAB Simulink. And for you to have access to MATLAB Simulink, you will MATLAB and Simulink, all those things. You can download the MATLAB software from the software repository, and for that you need to be connected to Global Protect. Once you have downloaded, you have the full version of MATLAB and you can do all you need to do. Right, and this task is also related to XOUT independent learning ability, because you will do it yourself. Although whatever I will be telling you to help you or guide you, I will not remember that I did anything in terms of helping. You did it yourself. But that's how I'm going to consider that. And these are the dates for submission of the assignment: 16th of April by midnight, 23:55. It can't be made 24:00 because that's what the system allows at most. And the second one is on 21st of May. Please make sure that you make the deadlines. And I always try to give as much as I can. Normally, other people I heard even they saying the day means 16th April, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But I said, okay, it's fine. If you can submit it by midnight, I'm okay with that. And then you will be submitting it via the learning website. And again, I mentioned that please don't email me, because if you email me, it might just get lost, because I have to handle a lot of emails every day. It might just get lost, and you will be the only one who will be affected most. You can probably sort out something very late, but by that time we will cause some stress and all those things. So try to make that deadline, and that is deadline. You are always encouraged to submit well before, if you are done with your assignment. So the dates and times are there, and it will close automatically. And I'm sure you have learned it from last year that if you try, you break your screen, clicking on it, it's not going to open because it's restricted in terms of date and time. So I'm coming to the marking scheme here for the assignments, because we have talked about the assignments. I'm coming to the marking. I want these things to happen in the assignment. So it will have to have an abstract introduction, theoretical aspects, simulation results, discussion and analysis, and finally the conclusion and reference. For each of them, there are allocated marks, and this is what I use when I'm going to mark them. So for example, if I find that there is a report, there is no abstract, you already get 0 for that 5%. There is nothing that I can do. If you don't show the references properly following IEEE standard style, you lose mark. If you don't write the simulation result section, then you have 40% marks that you are going to lose. Right? But let me come into the details of this one. Like it is talking about the assignments. Now, who will be doing the assignments? You will be doing it yourself. You must not copy it from each other at all. And if you do so, then it goes to the proctor. And if it goes to the proctor, it's out of our hands. We won't be able to join there and say whatever we want to say to save you at all. And it has severe consequences. Unity measures are there. They might fine you 1,000 rand. They might exclude you for 2 years. They might take all the marks from all other modules as well. I don't know what they will do. So you do it yourself, and obviously we will check the report via Turnitin. So when you submit the report, you make sure that you submit Word file, MS Word, not a PDF. I will write that one in the Moodle to remind you that you must submit MS Word file, not any PDF. And also for the presentation slides that I reminded you to submit for the presentations, those will be PowerPoint presentations, not converted to PDF. Original document that you have created. So the assignment reports must be Word file, MS Word file, and the presentation file should be PowerPoint files. None of them should be PDF. You will remember that, right? And we'll check them via Turnitin, how much you have copied. So don't copy and go to that severe punishment kind of thing. Now coming to the marking breakdown for the whole module. We have 2 assignments. So from the assignments, we'll get 10 and 10, 20%. We'll have 3 presentations. I have different marks for different presentations. The reason I do so is you can see for presentation 1 it's 4%, for presentation 2 is 6%, and presentation 3 is 10%. The reason is that I try to understand if I was a student, what would happen to me. So when I'm doing the first presentation, it's still early. I have not engaged myself much with the topic or the content, so I don't know much. But what happens, the deadline is there, so I have to go and present. So my presentation will be bad. So I'll get a low mark, and that is going to affect me much. But if you get a low mark here, that will not affect you much because the weightage is low. It's only 4%. But when it comes to the second presentation, you have got another 2 or 3 weeks. So you got much more time now. So you have to make sure that your presentation is better. So if you lose mark, now the lost portion will be more as compared to the first presentation. And presentation 3 is the last presentation. So you have actually used the whole semester to prepare your presentation and give a good amount of content and in terms of depth as well. So that's why the presentation 3 has the highest percentage, 10%. So the total 20% is coming from presentation. But it's good for you. So if you do well in presentation 3, your marks will jump. If you do bad in presentation 1, it won't get reduced much. Is that clear? Please let me know if you understood it, or if you have any question or any other suggestion. Yeah, Singawe, you can go ahead. You can unmute yourself.
Yeah, Yeah, sorry to disturb you, sir. In
Okay.
terms of writing, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, in terms of writing the report,
Mm,
what is the percentage for plagiarism in terms of the
15%.
content? What?
15%. 1 5.
15, 1 5,
Yes.
in terms of the content of the research.
Yes.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. So we come to the final report on the marking here. That's 20%. Now this final report will be based on these three presentations. So what you have presented in presentation 1, 2, and 3 will be converted to a report. Report. It's not like what you have presented. You just copy and paste those things into the report as a Word file and submit it. It's not going to carry any marks. You might end up having a 0 for the final report if you do so. It has to be a report, like a literary style has to be maintained properly and present the whole topic. So this is where I need to spend a few minutes more. What I normally suggest is that you start writing report from the very beginning, as if you're thinking that you have to submit a report, not you have to do some presentation. You start writing a report, and from the reports, you can copy some important points to your presentation one. And then after the second, third week, you prepare for the next part of the report, copy and paste them to prepare your presentation two. The final part of the report will come into the presentation three. So if you write your report and convert them to presentation, it becomes easy and it's good. But if you think that, okay, I'll prepare my presentation report later on, let me just do the presentation now, that will harm you later on a lot because you won't get time and your report will be very, very weak. So what you will end up doing when the deadline for submission of the final report will come, you will just copy and paste what you have presented in three different presentations and you will lose that 20% straight away. So the approach is writing the report and then from the report prepare your presentation. Is that clear? Okay, thank you very much. So follow that approach and then we will have some quizzes. This quiz is actually punishing me. I don't know how many thousands of marks I'm going to capture this whole year. It will be more than 5 or 6,000 marks. Because I'll have to do first year design as well, which is a very big class, and if I have to do 5 quizzes on top of 5 practical and those design project report. So I have to do it. So how we do this quizzes? There will be no dates, but I will announce it on the day at around let's say 12 o'clock, and then the quiz will happen at 5 o'clock in the afternoon for 15 minutes. Very short, maybe 2 questions to answer in 15 minutes online and done. And 5 of them, so 2% will come from each of them. Let's say that 1 mark, 2 question, 1 mark, 1%, something like that. So there will be not dates announced, but the dates will be announced on the day, let's say around 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock, and the things will happen in the afternoon, 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock, or in the evening, 6 o'clock. You can do it at any time. But again, for this, there will be no catch up or makeup kind of thing. If you cannot attend it, you cannot attend it. There is nothing that we can do. So sorry about that. And then we'll come to the tests. Two tests, test one and test two, 15% each that you will write. Now let me go back to discuss what Sengayo was asking, what will happen in terms of topics. Let's say now we have 13 topics. We might end up having 15 topics depending on the number of students who will register. So 4 students I'm putting in each group. So 13 topics can take 52 students. So if the number of students increases beyond 52, I'll have to increase the number of topics. I'll do that, no problem. But what you will have to prepare here for test one. How I do it, I is to say that you will have questions, one question from each topic in the question paper. So 15 topics are there. There will be 15 questions. Question one is on topic one. Question two is on topic two. And question 15 is on topic number 15. Is that clear? Is that clear about Umesh? I'll answer that question about the quizzes MCQ or long question. About the questions in the test, there will be one question. Inside one question, there might be A, B, C, D, or only A, or A, B, or A, B, C, D. Depends on the content that you are going to present. If your content is good, you will have short questions A, B, C, D. 5 marks each. Let's say 20 marks for one question, and I can break that 20 mark into 4 questions A, B, C, D. 5 marks for each of them. But if the content is bad, you might find that the top question is only one, and that is containing 20, which is bad actually. So is that clear to you? That question for test one is clear. Okay, thank you. Now, how many questions you answer? You can't answer all 15. So what I do, I make it easy for you. I say that you answer 2 questions. And out of those 2 questions, one question is mandatory. And that mandatory question comes from your own topic. So let us take this example. I'm doing a topic which is numbered as 7. So topic number 7 I'm doing, and it means what? It means that I will have to answer question 7 as a mandatory one. And then I can choose any one from the remaining 14. Is that okay? I'm in a class. I'm in a class. Is that clear to you? Do you understand that you will answer 2 questions? One question is compulsory, and that is from your topic. The second question you can choose from the remaining of the questions. Right? Now that's for test 1. When we go to test 2, we do the same thing. You will answer 2 questions again. And again, one is compulsory, which is your own topic. And the second one comes from the remaining ones. But that remaining one is not supposed to be the one that you chose in the first place in test 1. So it has to be a different one. Is that clear? In test 2, you choose the second question from the topic that you did not choose in test 1. So actually you will be studying at most 3 topics, not all 15 or all 13. Is that okay? And is it clear to all of you? Did you understand that in test 1 you answer your own topic, you answer the question on your own topic and any one from the remaining? When you come to test 2, you do the same. You answer the question on your own topic and another question on the topic that you did not choose in the first one. Let's say I am doing topic number 7, so I am answering 7, and in test 1 I answered the question number 10. And then in test 2, I will not be able to answer question number 10. So I'm answering question number 7 and question 12. So in test 1, 7 and 10, test 2, 7 and 12. Not the 10, because I answered the question on the topic number 10 in test 1. So that's how we are covering. So I make it easy for you answering only two questions. It can't be easier than that, I guess. Are you happy with that? Please let me know, or you want to make it more easy. Thank you very much, Kiveshan. And the next question was asked by Umeshan is that quizzes, will it be MCQ or short answer? No, it won't be MCQ. It will be short answer type of question, not multiple choice type. It will be short answer type question, very short. You can finish it in 10 minutes time. Is that clear for the quizzes? It won't be MCQ. It will be short answer type question. Thank you very much. Let me go to the next part, which is the DP requirement. You know, this DP requirement thing was happening with this assignment. And you see from the marking scheme here, assignments have 20% mark total. So you will have to make sure that you get 50% average from two of them. So let's say you got 40% in assignment one, you have to make sure that you get 60% in the second one. But if you fail to get an average of 50% from two submissions, I will give you an opportunity to make it 250. Meaning, let's say you got 40% in the first one and then you got 50% in the second one. So it's 90 if you take an average. Now it will be 45. So I'll give you a chance to improve the first one, not the second one, because in the second one you got 55, you have already passed it. So the first one was 40. No, what I said? 40 and 50, 90, and the average is 45. So first one you have 40, so I'll give you a chance to improve on the first one because you have 40 in it, and then you submit and then you do it very well, and now you get 80. So if I take 80 and 50, it's not going to happen. So what will happen? For the first one, the mark will be capped to 50, so that you get the chance to make your DP. Is that clear to you? So when you will see the marks after I complete the marking and capture them on SMS, you must make sure that you look at it. And if you see that your average is below, you must let me know that you want to improve that one to 50, otherwise you'll fail the module. You want to make it to 50. Okay, I see there is a question here. Okay, let me finish this. I'll come to that question. So you will have to look at those marks for assignments and make sure that your average is 50 and inform me that you want to improve on the one that you failed or got low scores, causing you to not to make it to 50, so that I can allow you to do the submission via learning website. Because if you don't tell me, then I won't set up that Dropbox on website as assignment submission, and you won't be able to submit it because I won't take anything via email, because there is a chance of getting it lost in so much of emails. Like I'm talking from 1:15, I'm busy with these things. I'm sure that already 50 or 60 emails are there. So I might just lose it. So every submission, even if it is resubmission, it has to come through Moodle website, Learn website. So you must remember that and remind me that you want to submit, so that I will open that box for you to submit and close it when you have submitted it. Is that clear? Thank you very much. So there was a question in the quiz, will the content be from 15 topics? Yes. The quizzes will be coming from 15 topics, and the questions will be from those PowerPoint slides, meaning you will have to go over those PowerPoint slides for 15 topics, and then you will be able to answer those questions. But it will not be too many questions. It will be 2 questions for each quiz. It will be only 2 questions for each quiz. So I try to make it easy and simple. That's my principle in real life. Make it easy and make it simple for others. That's what the reason is. That's what I have understood through the science and technology and engineering. All we try to do is make it easier, make it simple. Like you doing this WhatsApp or whatever kind of thing to send a message. And if I can say that, if you know that we have marathon, like Comrades Marathon. Marathon was the person who was carrying letters physically to deliver a message from a person to person, a king to another king. And he died when he handed that message in form of a letter, because he was running that long distance. That's why we commemorate that person, and we used to have that marathon. So we make it easy these days, that you don't have to carry that letter, you don't have to run, you don't have to die. We make it easy. You just press some buttons, you're touching the screen using your fingers, the message will be delivered. So make it easy. So you will answer only 2 questions from the PowerPoint slides. So you'll have to go over the slides. That time I will give you before the quiz takes place, 4-5 hours, from 12 to 5 o'clock or so. So during that time, you just scan over those things, and then you will be able to answer 2 short questions. Is that okay? Yeah, now I talked about the test 1 and 2 and the scope to answer to Singawe's questions. I hope Singawe is happy now. Are you okay? Did you get your answer? Singawe, did you get the answer to the question that you asked?
Yes, Dad.
Okay, that's good. Now, just another part of it. What happens if you fall sick? Because we like to fall sick actually when there is a test that I have to write. I like to fall sick. And then I go to Dr. Gavinder, who never went to school, forget about medical school. Then I will give him 200 rand, and then he will write me a medical note. I will bring that, and then I will give it to the lecturer that I was sick. I want to write a makeup test. So what you need to do is that you need to bring a medical note. If you want to write a makeup test, that medical note has to come from a registered person, but sometimes you might go to some traditional healers. Yeah, you can go, no problem, but come with something written that is authentic. Don't just bring something that you made, hiding it from your parents. You can even make a stamp of those kind of things yourself. You might be too clever. Don't do any such thing. If you are sick, it's normal. Anyone can fall sick. No problem. But I cannot hear you. Are you saying something? Enkanini Secondary School. Who is that? Who is at Enkanini Secondary School? Hello? Who is at Enkanini Secondary School? Okay, maybe not listening to me, that's fine. And I'm coming to the next point, which is textbooks and references. So you should try to find something from the books if your topic is related to books. There are some topics that can be found in textbooks, you can use them, it's good. If you don't find them in textbooks, you should use conference papers and journal papers, not Wikipedia. I always used to mention that don't use Wikipedia, don't use electrical for you, electronic for you, how stuff works and all the stuff. Use books, use conference papers, use journal papers. But the two things that you should use always here, the books and journal papers. Conference paper is the third option. The first one is the books, then the second option is the journal papers, third option is the conference papers. And you can make them available to us as a good content, because whatever you are going to present in those three presentations and in the final report that I'm going to discuss it now will be coming from these three sources. And if they are of not good quality, then I don't want to read it, honestly. And if I don't want to read it, that mark 20% will be 0% straight away. And I just let you know, I give good marks if the report is good. Like last year, there were some good reports in assignments, in power systems to assignments. I gave even 100%. Even in design project, I gave 100% because the report was really, really good. They listened to what I was telling them to do, that you must write it from good journal papers and so on. But if the report is not good, I also get 20%. Like in design project, there was a case where I was requested to examine a report as a third examiner. I get 20% because one person gave the report 65%, the other person gave 35%. So there was a huge difference because someone is telling it's a good pass, 65, someone is this is a bad fail, 35. And when I read it, I even thought I can't give it more than 20. So I give 20. So what you presenting is very important because that is going to be the course notes, that is going to be the content, and it has to be have some standard quality because you are in fourth year, you are going to be engineer next year in January. So we expect something of good quality from you all. Singayo, your hand was up. You wanted to say something?
Yes, since if you're not referencing from those three options, if I'm referencing from a website, so that's not allowed.
No. It's not allowed. If you're writing something from HTML, www dot, you can write. I cannot stop you legally, but I don't accept them. So I reduced marks.
Okay.
Yeah, Wikipedia is very popular to many people, and they are happy with that. I'm not happy at all because if I want to be happy with Wikipedia, I don't need to come to this far. I am from India. I came to South Africa to this university to get to the access of Wikipedia. I could do that from India. I just needed a computer and internet connection to get access to Wikipedia. Why do I need to come all this far to get access? You can also do the same thing from home. You just have you can have a phone and Wikipedia. Why do you need to register for a degree or year doing engineering? Why do you have to struggle so much?
Okay.
My point is that you need to know where you are. So you are at the university. So you need to learn those university things. And then the most important thing is that where you want to be. Do you want to be someone who can write a book? Then you need to read books and learn how that is written. Do you want to write a journal paper? Then you need to read that journal paper, how it is written. Then you will be able to. But if you want to write like something like Wikipedia is open. You can go write something on Wikipedia. Nobody stops you. But if you want to write a book, it's not easy because it demands a certain level. If you want to write a journal paper, it's very difficult. Very most difficult one is the journal paper because it brings you international recognition. Like you might follow soccer. Do you follow soccer or rugby or cricket or any other sports? What do you follow? I'm asking, just answer. Give me any word. soccer, cricket, rugby, or swimming? Which one do you follow?
Soccer, Bafana Bafana.
Bafana Bafana. Yeah, now I get the answer from you. Thank you very much for that. Now, if I think that you like soccer, you also want to play soccer, and you also want to be a player in those type of teams, like you get the word Bafana Bafana. So, if you play for Bafana Bafana, you become an international player because you are playing for your national team and you are playing matches with other countries. So you become an international player. But if you are a soccer player who is playing for who? For Bizana Pondo Chiefs, you know that team, Bizana Pondo Chiefs. You know that
No,
or TX.
no, sir.
You don't know. Yeah, that's what I want to say. Actually, you don't know the Bizana Pondo Chiefs. I know that name because they are playing the Great Africa Championship, which is a lower team. But they're still playing soccer. They can argue. But look at the standard. If you're playing Bafana, you're playing other international teams. You go to World Cup and you play against Argentina, you're playing against Messi. You're playing against Portugal, you're playing against Ronaldo's team. But if you're playing Bizana Pondo Chiefs, you don't know the team's name. So when you use Wikipedia, it's just like that Bizana Pondo. Don't tell them, they will kill me. I will go to Bizana one. I went to Bizana actually to visit that place somehow. I was very lucky. This is a very nice place. Yeah, so you need to know where you want to be. So that is where the importance lies, the what you are consulting. Are you consulting Wikipedia or are you consulting a journal paper? So books and journal papers are the first
Yeah.
targets. And if you don't get something from there, you need it, you check conference papers, but don't go for Wikipedia and all those stuff. Now I'm coming to this final report. This final report will be submitted on the Moodle website, and there is a deadline as well on that. That will be used for marking, and I have a marking for that one. These are the things that I consider for marking the final report. Breakdown is there. I keep it open when I'm marking. So what I want to see, I want to see how your report is technically relevant to the topic title that I gave you. For example, I gave you a topic title, magnetic levitation. So what might happen, a disaster from this topic? The students might start saying or giving a definition what is a magnet, how it works, North Pole, South Pole, flags, this and that. Then it's not relevant. Those things were taught in first year physics. I wanted to see something on magnetic levitation, not on magnets. Is it clear to everyone? Everyone must understand this. You understand? So you must not write something on your report or on your presentation that is taking you back to a module that you have learned already. I want to see that you are talking about magnetic levitation, not magnet. Yes, obviously, magnet and magnetic levitation, they are related. But I also know, you also know that you have learned the magnet and all things related to magnet in other modules 2 years ago, 3 years ago, right? So that's the first thing. And that's why the mark is so high, 30%. If it is not relevant, you lose mark there, a lot. Then the second thing is examinable material, meaning how you are writing your content. You might have a lot of pictures, unnecessary things to make your report a big one, lot of pages, but that might be seen as, in some cases, that you can't even ask a question from the figure that you have shown there. So if I don't find the content to be examinable, meaning I want to set up questions from the presentations, from the report, because the report is based on the presentation or vice versa. So whatever you're presenting, is there any opportunity for me to ask a question? So you should think whatever you're writing in a report, can you really set up a question from that paragraph that you wrote there? The diagram that you're presenting, the figure that you're showing, a table you are presenting. So examinable material is very important. That's why the 50% mark goes there with the technical content and its relevance and the examinable part, 50%. Then remaining 50% comes from others, which is in terms of logical flow, how the flow is maintained, the literary style, how you wrote it, English, grammar, all those things, and then clarity or explanation of headings. Sometimes you give a nice headings, and then what is discussed under that heading does not relate to the heading at all. What is presented in the following paragraph is completely different from the heading. Then it does not make sense. That's why it also has 10%. Then spelling, grammar, all those things you must check, punctuations. Using its, the MS Word has that spelling and grammar tool. On the review tab, you can just check it and click it. It will do it for you and itself. And so you don't have to, just one click, must check. It has 5% marks. Then when you're showing the diagrams, when you're showing the citations, numberings, everything must be professional. So for that, you have 5%, conclusion should be 5%, and references. Again, you must follow the IEEE reference guideline. If you don't have it, just please let me know. I will email you that reference guideline. There are standards for showing different types of publications, meaning if you are using a book, how to write the details of that book, how to write a journal is different from the books. If it's a conference paper, it's different. If it's something patent, it's different. If it's a data sheet, it's different. So IEEE has defined a style for referencing different types of documents. That gives us that final marking scheme for the report that you will submit. And that report must be submitted by 7th of June via the learning website. And again, you should not email me. And the other thing is that for all these assignment and final report submission, if you don't submit on day by deadline, you lose 25% per day if you are late. So what will happen if it's due on a Friday? What date is 7th of June? What day is, not date, sorry. Let me check. 7th of June, no. 7th of June is a Monday. So if you did not submit on 7th and you come on submit on Friday, 100% is gone. So there is no need to submit at all because it's already 0%. Right, so you must make sure that you submit timely. 25% deduction of marks for assignment and final report. We cannot wait. It's a lot of marking that we will have to do. So I think I have covered everything in this one. If you have any question, you can ask. Yeah, everything is covered.